Today we're going to talk about the biceps musculature. So the biceps, we have two heads of the biceps. So they connect in deep in the shoulder and go through here, and they insert right around in this region here. So you've got the muscle belly throughout this upper arm. So the inner portion is the short head, and this outer portion here is the long head. Now there are four functions of the biceps musculature. The first primary one is elbow flexion, so bending the elbow. Next we have forearm supination. So if we're starting here and we rotate the palm towards the sky, we're getting flexion through the biceps. That's two. Third one here, we have shoulder flexion. So if we curl, if we're coming up here, we're also involving the biceps to bring that shoulder into a flexed position here. That's three of them. The fourth one, of course, is to look good. So lying superficial to the biceps musculature, so underneath we have a muscle known as the brachialis, which you can't see from this position, but there's a muscle lying underneath, and the benefit of training that, it assists in elbow flexion first off. The benefit in training the brachialis is that as that muscle underneath grows, it's going to push the muscles to the surface up to give the effect of an overall larger arm. When it comes to training the biceps, we want to consider the three primary functions of it. So one place we lose some benefit is if we only focus on that elbow flexion. Not to say that there isn't a time and place to train just in this motion, but if we want to be efficient, we want to really combine all the functions the best way that we can. So not only are we going to try to come up here, that's that elbow flexion, but we also want to throw in the segment of supination. So as I come up, I'm going to try to rotate a little bit, rotate that pinky towards the ceiling. It's going to get a little extra flexion. And now to get that shoulder flexion involved as well, I'm going to kind of rotate my shoulder upwards. So I'll come from this angle. I'm going to come up, get that rotation there, come up just a little bit, and reverse. So again, from this side, up, rotate, squeeze. Now, when I'm going into that shoulder flexion portion, I'm trying not to lean back with the upper body, so keep that torso locked in concrete. Up, squeeze there, and down, up, rotate, down. So this will be one of the variations of the biceps exercise that I really like for targeting all three of those primary functions at one go. So this resistance band here is anchored to the wall. You can also use a cable machine like the tower that is at most commercial gyms. So I'm going to grab my handle, start off with that shoulder flexion. So I'm slightly raising that shoulder. Right now the biceps is in this fully stretched position. It's relaxed for the most part. So it's not really targeting the muscle yet until I get into the actual contractile portion of the movement. So shoulders elevated a bit. I'm going to start bending at the elbow and rotating that pinky back behind me as I come in. And now I can fully shorten, fully contract the biceps back out and get a nice strong squeeze. Try to contract as hard as I can, envisioning getting my knuckles towards the top of my shoulder. Trying to maintain that position all the way throughout and not lean into it at all using the weight of my body. All right, so then I'm going to demonstrate a barbell curl, starting both biceps at the same time. Now with this movement, we still want to try to get that supination through the hands, through the forearms. The barbell is not going to allow the hand to rotate that much, but we're still going to be pressing into it, and that will still get that contraction of the biceps. Another thing that we want to focus on is that shoulder flexion. So I'm going to try to point my elbow at the mirror on the way back up on each rep. So start with my position here, torso upright, come up, nice and controlled on the way down. Trying not to use momentum. I don't want to swing my body at all to get the weight up. I want to make sure my biceps are doing all the work. This next movement is great for fatiguing the biceps, really taking it to complete exhaustion. You can throw this in towards the end of the workout, maybe as your very last movement on an arm day or a biceps focused day. Need a dumbbell and an adjustable bench. I'm going to position myself so that my upper arm is against the bench, really dig the armpit in to the top there. One other thing I'm going to add is at the wrist. If we keep the wrist straight as we're doing our curl, the muscles of the forearm are helping take some of that weight, take some of that load off the biceps. So if we're really trying to fatigue the biceps, let's let that wrist bend, try to stay in that position here, almost like a waiter holding a plate, right? We're gonna hold the dumbbell in that position. Full extension here. And we're gonna squeeze, still try to rotate the pinky towards the sky. Nice controlled movements, fully squeeze that biceps muscle. So when we're taking this movement to failure, we're gonna go as many reps as we can with that full range of motion, and you're gonna reach a point where you won't be able to get that full range anymore. So what we wanna do then, let's say it's here. Now if that's all I can get to, I'm gonna keep going reps just to that point. And over time, it's gonna be shorter and shorter and shorter until I just can't anymore. And then that's when you've truly reached muscular failure and you can go ahead and end the set.